Ladies, if you want to remain lonely, build a career, be selfish and demanding.
They are really getting sucked down the red pill rabbit hole.
Why are people even making stuff like this?
There's no question if it was legal, they would be going around women, calling them witches.
Oh my God.
All right, on today's episode, we got more on the conservative fight to try and ban adult content. We got Harrison Butker, which has drama around. I don't really know much about that. We're going to talk about that, I guess, and OnlyFans marketing stuff. So first, what are your updates?
This week, I developed this really bizarre rash on my neck. You can see here, it lasted for like 3 days. It like started mild and then it got really much worse. And then it took like 2 more days for it to go down. And then also this week, I went back to the gym after a long hiatus.
Well, it's pretty impressive how good you look for how little you've been going to the gym. There's no way I could maintain like that. Like if I just quit working out, I would just,
well,
wouldn't work.
I worked out a little bit, but like we have a little home gym. So I was just kind of like fucking around in there. And
well, that just goes to show like how much the diet is like affects it more than the actual gym.
Yeah, I will say I follow mostly like just an 80-20 type of diet, even with the changes that I've made eating like significantly less meat. And yeah, that goes to show the power of nutrition and a little bit of genetics.
Not bad. So you've got listed here the cutest thing I've ever seen. What is this?
Okay, so yeah, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen this week. I haven't shown you this, but look at this son and father. So he started him from square one in the gym. Look at him, his little onesie. He's still wearing diapers here. Oh my God, I'm going to start crying.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
I can't.
That's pretty good.
So, firstly, this is the best gift you could give your child is number one, the time, like bonding with them, spending that just invaluable time, teaching them the foundations of taking care of your body. And I followed him and saw that he started, like he made a little weight bench or something for kids that he sells.
Oh yeah, so he's got the kids workout bench. Let's see here.
Look at that. If I had a kid, I would buy that 100%. Oh, so they sell adult equipment also.
Okay. So yeah, so they got, looks like they're just white labeling, but apparently, because generally people will always have their best converting offer as their main thing. So I think this kids bench is their top converting product, I would imagine.
Yeah, I love that.
That's a pretty good find. That's pretty interesting.
Do you have any updates this week?
Yeah, for the last few weeks, I've been working on, for those of you that are in the OnlyFans level up course, I've been working on a lot of updates for that. There's a lot of new revisions coming with our most kind of recent data, insights, and strategies. Yeah, so hopefully within the next month and a half, that will be published into the course.
By the way, if you want to join us in the OnlyFans Level Up community, that is where I share all of my best secrets and strategies for OnlyFans creators, many of which are hitting really big numbers, as you may have seen from various guests on this podcast. But either way, it's a great place to be if you want to network or learn all of the best secrets and strategies to grow your OnlyFans account. You can find all of that information with the link down in the description below. But for now, back to the podcast.
All right, so next we're going to do Reddit stories of the week.
Okay, this one is, today I fucked up by fapping after eating barbecue. Today I stopped by my favorite barbecue place after a long day of work. I normally get this messy pulled pork sandwich, with hot barbecue sauce. I was feeling extra brave today and decided to get the hottest sauce that they have on it. By the time I was done eating this breathtaking sandwich at home, I had a bunch of this hot sauce all over my hands. Not thinking anything of it, I cleaned it off well with these napkins and watched an episode of anime. After finishing the episode, I decided that I deserved a nice fap to make this great day even better. About 8 minutes in, my dick starts feeling questionably hot. I think nothing of it, and I keep beating it up like it owes me money. A couple of minutes later, my dick is painfully on fire, extreme pain. I realized I still had remnants of the barbecue sauce on my hand. Panic starts to blossom. I knew I was so close to my nut, so like any sane person would do, I fapped through the pain. I've never wanted to finish a nut faster in my entire life. After releasing the worst nut of my life, I put my dick in the sink. It did absolutely nothing but enrage the barbecue sauce. At that time, I see my ex-girlfriend had texted me, whom I regularly speak to. Me and her have always had good communication, so I decided to tell her about my fuck up. After she laughed profusely, she said something to me that would forever change my life. You should fill up a bowl of milk and put your dick in it. The second she said that, I raced to the kitchen, filled up the milk in a bowl, put it on my bedroom floor. After that, I got completely naked and I hit a plank position so I could completely submerge my unit in the milk. The relief the milk gave me is something I will tell my grandkids about. I couldn't stop thinking about how great of an idea this was, and I should marry my ex one day. At this point, I hit a weird out-of-body experience thinking about every choice I've made in my life that led me to this point, completely naked with my dick in 2% milk. Wash your hands after eating, guys. Wash your hands before you fucking touch your wiener.
And after. I feel like there's probably an alarming amount of people, like when you're just out and about and shaking people's hands.
Oh my God,
like,
don't get me started.
Can you just imagine how many of those people just like beat it a little bit before and didn't wash their hands?
I always think about that when I go to like Walmart. This is going to make me sound really spoiled, but that's 50% of the reason that I order our groceries, because I just can't with the fucking, like, my mind just starts going there in that environment. And I'm just like,
well, it's no different for the shopper. They probably did it in the car on the way there.
I know, but it saves me from the anxiety of being there and thinking about it.
Well, anyway, for those of you that got a real tough burn going, 2% milk. That's pretty interesting. I didn't know that one. All right, the next one.
Okay, this one isn't funny, but interesting subject, I guess. So this person says, am I the asshole for not wearing a bra when my boyfriend told me to? She says, I, 24 female, have stopped wearing a bra since 2016, so around 15, 16 years old. I never liked them. I found them uncomfortable, so I decided to not wear them anymore. Anyways, my boyfriend, 26 male, has been having an issue with it lately, especially since the season has become hotter. We've talked about it, and he says that he does not feel comfortable with me showing off my girls. Mind you, I have small, medium breasts. He goes on about how I don't want other guys looking at them and how he doesn't want to share. I don't know. I've explained to him that I've never had an issue where it bothers people. He then asked me how my past relationships felt with this, and I told him honestly, they've never had a problem with it or were bothered by it, and somehow made him more upset. I've tried to explain my side, and as much as I understand his point of view, I just don't want to hear them. So am I the asshole? I just need a different perspective, and advice will be much appreciated. I pulled this one because we recently had this conversation a little bit with regards to me. When we go like for walks around our neighborhood or something, I'm not always wearing one. And then I'm like, I'll catch myself halfway through the neighborhood and I'm like, oh my God. And then your opinion has always just been like, that's not your problem, and I agree with that. But at the same time, I'm not there to like, I want the neighbors to like me.
I think it's different. Like if you're going to somebody else's house or somebody else's culture or into a restaurant where it's like, this is a conservative restaurant, here's the rules. And then if you're just like blatantly disrespecting somebody's rules, then that's fucked up. But like if you're in your kind of like your own domain.
And not arguing with what you say, I agree with what you just said to an extent though. Say that we're going to the taco place over there. I wouldn't put a bra on to go there.
Well, no,
But
because
if
there's
we
a
were
difference if you're
to-
going to a Taco Bell and some fucking red pill conservative guy's in there and like, according to him, you can't be doing that.
No, even if we
But-
went to fucking Texas Roadhouse, I would not put a bra on for
Well,
them.
my point is, it's not the customer that you should worry about their opinion. It's the restaurant owner, like going into somebody else's house. You respect their rules. You're in their house.
Yeah.
But if you go to somebody else's house and one of the other guests is like, oh, I don't like the way you're dressed. And it's like, okay, fuck off. Then leave. I don't know.
Right. So my question is for someone who has this opinion, like what is so offensive about someone not wearing a bra under a shirt that's not sheer? Is it like you are turned on by it and that upsets you?
According to the stats, that's what we're going to get into some stats in a minute. But
disgusting to you? Do you think that's disgusting that women have breasts? And
that's the whole thing. It's like the red pill belief system. That's my whole problem with like I think extreme feminism is extremely cringy. I think extreme red pill is equally cringy. But the problem is it's like their personal beliefs, they're projecting as if that's objective truth that all humans should abide by. Well, so speaking of cringy red pill conservatives, we got some stuff. We'll get into the news portion here. So this screenshot I thought was pretty interesting based on our last podcast episode. So for those of you that didn't see our last episode, we were kind of talking about, all these conservative states that are trying to, ban porn. A lot of them have already implemented these, ID verification systems and, legislation to where you can't access an adult site without getting your ID verified. Just this whole thing, right? And so these red bars here are basically the states that are trying to ban porn, and it also represents the amount of usage or the amount of users that access those sites. Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. California is trying.
Wow.
Which this doesn't represent, the ones that are actually banning it. These are just represents, I guess, the states that have politicians that are pushing for that. I was kind of surprised by California, but Texas just implemented the ID verification, or a handful of these have, but of course, Texas is one of the biggest users of those sites. Florida, also one of the biggest users. On the last episode, we were talking about, one of the only possible results from this whole push is that all it's going to do is force people to basically use VPNs or access the dark web and stuff like that. So who are some of the biggest websites that are capitalizing on this. Oh, what do we have? ExpressVPN writing writing articles about this. What's the solution? Oh, just buy their VPN and now it won't be a problem. So I think this is hilarious that the VPN providers are probably just fucking loving this and getting a ton of business from it. Yeah, so I thought that was funny because I was like looking at some stats. I was like looking for these like charts to show some of this data, and all of these charts are basically like all of these articles are being written by the VPN websites. So they're just like, hell yeah, make it illegal everywhere. We're getting a ton of business. All right. So what is this? Harrison Butker. So I don't really know a whole lot about this.
Yeah. So everyone, by the time you see this, everyone's heard of this already.
I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. That all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
Aw, don't you hate when you're trying to be misogynistic and you get all choked up?
Yeah, it's another just typical red pill narrative that like, I think what's happening is like, a lot of these like Fresh and Fit, whatever podcast, and, all those podcasts where they're just like inviting extreme feminists on the show and then just, making them just completely tearing them apart in the conversation, because it's like having, if you invite the extreme feminists onto a show who has no experience in a debate, who has no experience, articulating, thoughtful responses, it would be the equivalent of having an intellectual debate with a 6-year-old and saying, oh, see how fucking stupid you are? Like, yeah. So then all the red pill dorks are like, yeah, look at those fucking idiots. And so I think that's like, they're painting this picture of, just all these extreme feminists and how, hypocritical they are and how delusional they are. And it's like giving permission to these kind of people to go out and say these kinds of things like, yeah, see, you shouldn't, your life doesn't start until you find a man of value like me.
Well, I kind of get the vibe. So we're about to go into a little rabbit hole with the facepalm subreddit, I think. And it's this gentleman named Eric Kahn, apparently. And he says, ladies, if you want to remain lonely, go to therapy, build a career, idealize your independence, be selfish and demanding. If you want to find a quality man, be eager to join a man's mission, serve others, be gentle and quiet of spirit, and glory in motherhood.
Yep.
And so then I just went to his Twitter because it was shown there on that post that someone had shared. And the first thing that pops up is this gentleman's picture, and his little bio says, CEO and founder at New Christendom Press, host at Hardman Podcast, co-host at the King's Hall, Western native, avid hunter. Everything in this bio makes me want to throw up.
Yeah, they're gonna ban TikTok and they're gonna ban porn, and I saw all kinds of other weird stuff that conservatives are trying to ban, like drones and just like all kinds of stuff. But when it comes to the guns, oh boy, then all of a sudden the Constitution is real important.
Oh, he's got something about Taylor Swift there. Let's see. It's shameful and sad that a hyper-promiscuous, childless woman, Taylor Swift, aging and alone with a cat, has become the heroine of a feminist age. Oh my God.
Isn't it funny how like all these red pillars, their entire brand is based on like hate and shame?
Hyper-promiscuous. Okay. She's a single woman that dates people occasionally. I've never, thought anything of anything. She's like the fucking biggest pop star in the whole entire world right now. And she's supposed to be just having kids right now instead?
Yeah, these modern day witch hunters are fucking wild. There's no question if it was legal, they would be going around murdering innocent women, calling them witches, and smiling while they do it.
Wow, this feed is different than what's on my phone. Okay, I'll just read it. So he reposted something from @JillyAlexis. She says, number 1, I worked in the NFL. It's a terrible culture. Harrison Butker is the last person who should be losing his job. Because I guess, the Kansas City Chiefs were like, we do not support this, anything that he fucking said, basically. She says, 2, Harrison Butker is fighting for women and the left is too brainwashed to know what's good for them. Being a submissive wife who honors God and raises children is an honor and a privilege. 3, even though I'm proud of my career, nothing is more meaningful than being a mother, not even close. And 4, God's order is best. He is intentional in his design. My problem is with firstly, she's defending her career and saying, I've been accomplished in my career, but nothing's greater than having children. Okay, so according to Buttkiss or whatever, he's saying that your true value comes in the household and blah, blah, blah. So, you and his mom shouldn't even have those degrees or whatever the fuck you have, because you're supposed to be just putting your all into serving your husband and whatever. And then the submissive wife, I just get full trigger when I hear that.
Yeah. So, yeah, red pill. Let us know what you think about the red pill movement. All right. So last we got some OnlyFans marketing stuff for the OnlyFans crowd out there. So first I'll bring this subreddit right here. All right, so this one says, to whomever suggested a while back to remove your free trials, fucking thank you. So this one says, so I ended up removing my 30-day free trial from my account instead of opting to change it to a 50% 3-month discount instead. This was also because I decided to remove anything with my face on Reddit and will ensure those who want to see it will actually have to subscribe to do so. This also helps with any sort of anonymous issues, even though that's still eventually inevitable. While my new follower growth has definitely declined, the people who actually spend money do subscribe and buy the pay-per-view content, so my revenue did increase. You no longer get those cheapskates trying to sex for free and those who stick around to turn rebill back on. I can also now focus on the dedicated subscribers and not feel like I have to anxiously keep replying to some people hoping they eventually turn rebill on. This is very much the best way to do it and filter out the low quality followers who often just jerk off while talking to you with zero intention to actually spend money. Yeah, so I thought this was a good one because this still comes up with OnlyFans creators who are trying to decide whether or not to do a free page or a paid page. And just to kind of cover a quick, if you're kind of on the fence about whether or not to have a free page or a paid page, the way I always kind of look at it is like, if you imagine a strip club that allowed everybody to come in for free, then 99 out of 100 people have no intent to spend any money whatsoever. And that's a problem if the stripper is trying to, go around and she's spending her time and her effort, talking to people, and that person has zero intent to spend any money. Well, she's basically going to spend the entire night just talking to people for free. She's not going to find any actual buyers. However, if you have a cover charge at the club and people come in and they pay that cover charge, then you know that that's a higher quality prospect. It's a higher quality lead. There's, they've already proven to spend money in at least some small capacity. So if you were to spend time talking and chatting to them, the probability that you're actually going to get a dance with that person or from, with that customer is going to be significantly higher. And OnlyFans is the same way. Like, you're going to make the large majority of your earnings are going to come from chatting with people in the DMs and offering content. And if you're letting everybody come in for free, then you're going to spend, 99% of your time and effort is going to be spent chatting to people who have absolutely no intention to spend any money. However, if you have a cover charge, if you have, some sort of fee to come in the door, you're not necessarily going to get rich off of that, but you're bringing in higher quality leads, higher quality prospects. So when you do reach out and you do chat to them and you do bring them into, some sort of chatting sequence and offer them content, the probability of them spending money actually buying that content is going to be much, much higher. So with the free versus paid, changing to a paid page, again, you're not going to get free from you're not going to get rich, from the subscription itself. What it does is act as a gatekeeper to make sure you're only spending physical time talking with higher quality leads. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. What do you think?
I've never really tried to use a free page all the way, so I can't really I don't have any experience with this. I have a free page, but I don't use it like a normal page.
Yeah.
My only qualm to this, I guess, would be that sometimes people pay the subscription price and then they feel like, same with getting into a club, you pay like a $20 cover charge and then they're like, oh, I should get something.
Yeah, you're always going to get the entitled ones who spend $3 and they think that you're now their puppet and they own you for that $3.
That's so annoying.
And you're now entitled, or they're now entitled to 24/7, custom treatment from their $3. So that, you are going to run into those people. And when you do come across them, then just you put them on a list, don't talk to them anymore. Or, either let them know, be like, listen, that's not how it works. And here's how it does work. And if they give you any trouble after that, then you just put them on a list.
Yeah.
Don't talk to them anymore.
Bye.
But yeah, so that was number one. And then, I had a question from our group in the Telegram group, and they were basically asking, what is the best OnlyFans growth strategy? And it's such an open-ended question. It's kind of a hard question to answer because there is no single, I feel like a lot of people come into the group or, they're always out there looking for this one little, if I just, get this thing, then I'll know the magic ingredient that's going to unlock all of my success. And the reality is there's no single thing. I can't tell you, just go do X and that's going to give you $1 million in results. It's a combination of multiple strategies of understanding the nuances with each social media platform, because it's the reason that some creators, they'll see somebody getting 1 million views and they'll go try to do the same thing that creator's doing and they'll get no views at all because they don't really understand, all of the hundreds of little nuances that compound to make that type of content work, or, what's all the things that are going on behind that person's account or behind that person's strategy. So there's really no one thing that I can say that's just go do this thing. And that's going to unlock all the success. That doesn't exist. But if you want to learn all of the compounding, systems and strategies that are kind of the infrastructure to, doing all the right methods and all the right stuff, and that's of course in the OnlyFans level up community. So link for that down in the description, but that's pretty much the only questions I had about OnlyFans stuff.